All right, everybody, it's me, Jessica Grace, right here. I'm looking for my camera right here inside of Jesus Wire Live. Thank you so much for being here with us. As you can see, we have a phenomenal guest in with us today, and it is Todd Dulaney. What's going on?
Jessica, what's going on? I'm just relaxing. It's good to be here with you.
So good to be here with you too. I was so excited to get your information, like your press release about what you're doing, your new music. And I mean, I just love your new song, Revelation. Tell us a
Thank
little
you.
bit about that song and what you've been up to.
Oh my goodness. So the pandemic for one has been crazy. So that kind of forced
Hmm.
me into the house and I had to like learn a whole new way of life. So I've been,
Right.
stuck in the house with the kids, my wife, and just like that has been torture because they they have their own way of life and I had to learn how to do it. I was used to traveling and had to like unlearn all of this other stuff. So, but in the midst of all of that, I was still able to produce some new music, and that's how we got to Revelation 4.
That's what's up. So, I mean, you mentioned the pandemic and just all of the chaos that's been going on. How have you been adjusting to that as an artist?
So it's just like it's pulled out a new level of creativity. Last year we did the drive-in, so we had people drive up and do the concert, and that was different. You know what I mean? Because I mean
Hmm.
it's kind of different singing the cars than it is singing the actual people. And so I mean, it's just been crazy, Jay. Like I never imagined that we wouldn't be able to hug each other, shake hands, do all the stuff that we normally do. But it's pulled out another level of creativity, and I've just kind of been enjoying the fact of it's kind of been pulling a little bit more out of me.
Right, right. That's what's up. So creativity, as an artist, and then I love your style of music because you're more of, to me, like a worship artist.
Uh huh.
Have you found yourself, kind of, I guess, gaining new heights as far as like in your spiritual walk with God during this time?
Uh, just to be real, the pandemic is pulled like I guess like the worst, the best, and the worst out of you. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
like the pandemic got you relaxing. So I mean, whereas before I was in a rhythm, where it's like my prayer life, my study
Right.
life, it was in a pattern. But in the pandemic, it was kind of like, hey, I really don't got to prepare for nothing. It's
Hmm.
kind of tough for me to consistently seek God the way I normally did. So it
Hmm.
really was challenging, really, for my spiritual life because I found myself
Hmm.
getting lazy, not wanting to read, not really wanting to pray, just wanting to get up and do nothing because we stuck in the house.
Wow. Wow. So what has been some of the steps that you've taken to kind of challenge yourself to, increase in your prayer time and your worship time?
Yeah, so I really honestly, it taught me how to like really force myself to do this stuff on my own. Like you can't rely
Hmm.
on church. You can't rely on me
Right.
going to church. I mean, because I think that's what I was doing before, and along with a lot of people, you just like relying on, hey, I'll just meet you on Sunday morning. Now we can't even meet
Right.
on Sunday morning, and so it taught me to really kind of force myself up every morning and say, hey, you gotta get on your face. You gotta dig in by
Hmm.
yourself. You can't rely on the pastor. You all alone. And so I think that's the whole gamut of it all for everybody
Hmm.
is that
Hmm.
we were forced to be alone and seek God on our own. And so,
Hmm.
but those are some of the things I put in place, just forcing myself to get up. And it's challenged me. And I think I've grown a ton. And obviously, being able to come up with a song like a Revelation for it, especially in a pandemic, that really was out of a challenge and challenged
Wow.
myself to produce more.
Wow, that's powerful. I love how, your song is so powerful, but the fact that you produced it out of a rough time. Can you kind of speak to the artists or the songwriters or the ministry leaders who are listening right now and they kind of struggle with creating content? Can you kind of speak to them and kind of encourage them with your story of the songs that you've written and how to, produce that masterpiece?
So the thing is you just I'm true to who I am. Like
Hmm. That's
I'm
good.
not trying to sound like anybody else. We got tons of different sounds in gospel music and in music,
Mhm.
period. And then what happens is you'll have a group of people that'll tell you your sound doesn't matter, or what you sound like won't even work. I had so many people
Mhm.
tell me like that won't work. There's no room for
Wow.
that. You know what I mean? That sound is not. And here we are, 5, 6 number ones later, it's working. And if had I
Mhm.
given up at the sound, or the thought of a lot of people that told me that my sound was irrelevant, then I would have just quit. And so my word to people is just be who you are. Do what you're called to do. It's room for you. Like, you're gonna have
Mm.
so many people that are gonna tell you that what you do is not enough. It's
Mm.
whack. We don't need it. And one day it'll be the same people that'll be showing you love later on in
Right.
the future as well. Yeah.
I love that. Be who you are. There is room for you. That is so cool. I really agree. And I think that so many times, when we're trying to, attain that goal, or reach that dream, we're struggling with competing,
Yeah.
competing and trying to
Yeah.
live up to the standards of other people and things of that nature. I mean, how about you? Have you ever had a moment where you kind of felt like maybe either left out or felt like you kind of had to do more or be more to
Absolutely.
measure up?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm sitting there like, absolutely. And for me, I felt like the system of gospel music
Yeah.
was set in place before. I mean, obviously, long before I came along. And so, me coming into the picture, the system, I felt like it was pushing against me. It was kind of like, oh,
Mm.
you ain't hand clapping, foot stomping. This ain't no
Right.
gospel music. Like,
Mm.
you ain't singing like some of these singers. And I mean, that pressure tried to make me feel like, nah, you can't do it. But
Wow.
I just promised myself. I said, man, I got something to offer. Like, I got
Mhm.
something to offer, even if it's not what you used to. I still got something to offer. I didn't even know it was like praise and worship. Everybody just kind of branded my sound as like, oh, he's a praise and worshiper. No, this was just what I have. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I wasn't trying to be a praise and worshiper. I was just giving you what was on the inside of me, and the
Right.
people started calling it whatever they want. You can call it whatever you want to. I was just giving you the gift that God gave me.
Right, right. I love that. And with that, you've been a part of just creating a new path,
Wow,
for artists. I love that.
wow,
Talk about that a little bit, because I
wow.
think a lot of people really want to take the traditional paths that are already set, but some of us have been anointed for being a trendsetter. So
Yeah.
talk about, paving the way for other artists to be who they are, and share some on that.
You know, a lot of people went before me that kind of began to forge a new sound. Israel Houghton
Mhm.
was one of them.
Mhm.
William McDowell, even Ron Canoli is another worshiper that went before, and I'm grateful for them because
Mhm.
they released a sound that allowed me to make more sense with my sound. But as far as forging a new like lane, man,
Right.
you just got to be bold enough to do this stuff. Like, you got
That's
to be
good.
bold enough to just be on your own. Like, I never cared about fitting in. I've always been like this though, Jessica. Like, even in school, my mom and them, we had problems. Like, I was always in trouble because I wanted to push against the system. I wanted to be
Mhm.
like, okay, well, why are we doing this though? Are we doing this because this is the only way, or are we doing this because there's been nobody to push against the system? And so
Wow.
here I come, and my parents are like, Todd, can you just do what they ask you to do? But mama, why are we doing it like this? Like, is that the only way we can do it, or is there another way? And so I've always been one to want to see, is there another way? Is there another
Mhm.
sound? Is there another, can we open up the Bible and just sing it? Can we, this has always been my personality, I guess, like a little bit of a rebel. Let's just try it. And so I encourage people out there, man, just try it. It's got to be
Wow.
another way to do things that we've been waiting for, and everybody is waiting for you.
That's powerful. So I want to talk a little bit about purpose. I really love your story. I was telling you, Jay Blake was the one that was my brother was like, Todd Dulaney, he's awesome, and your story of coming from professional baseball. I mean, coming from it was
Yeah,
professional baseball, right?
that's right. That's right. Yep.
Okay, I was making sure I'm on it. So with that, coming from playing, professional baseball over now into music and, being an artist, talk about that transition and why you even made the transition.
So that transition was probably the hardest transition of my life because it required for me to give up something that I love. Anytime you have to give up something that you love and trust God that He's gonna come through on the other side, that's tough. Like
Right.
that was tough for me. Like my family, they all said you're crazy. Like that's dumb. Like you're gonna make so much money if you play baseball. You don't even know if you're gonna make money in gospel and blah blah blah. And seriously, that stuff hurt. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know if they were right. I was like, man, they might be right. I may not ever make money doing this. I may not. How can I provide for my kids? Like, what am I gonna do? And I mean, at
Wow.
nighttime, I would feel that. I would be like, dang, like maybe, But the thing was, is that like I knew I had a promise from God. I knew I wanted to make an impact on the world. I wanted
Mm,
to impact people more than just you coming to a baseball game and watching me play. See, it, like the thing about purpose, man, people think about money and they think purpose, and like that's confusion. Like money does not equal purpose. Like
that's good.
it's that's the problem. Like that's the problem with the world, man, is that people equate purpose with money, and that's not the thing. I found purpose in impact. The way I could impact the world through song changed the game for me. Not the
Mm,
fact, like, you come to a stadium, watch me play, you may have some drinks, have a good time, and never remember who I am or how I affected your life. But if you
mm,
come to a concert and the presence of God meets you there, or if you hear a song that shifts your entire life, my impact has been greater worldwide than baseball could have ever allowed me to be. But if you're trapped in the thought of money, you will miss the whole thing.
wow. 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 Legacy. Come on. Legacy.
Right, right, right.
It's all about leaving the right legacy. So, with
Absolutely.
you, wearing so many hats, a husband, a father, a
Yeah.
business owner, worship leader, how are you balancing? What do you do to just try to make sure you're doing well, with the different hats that you wear?
I mean, so I'm tending to the family first. That's one. My
Mm,
family, because I see them more than anything else. Like right now, we just got to Miami. My wife and I, celebrating 10 years of marriage, yesterday. And so,
that's
today we're in
awesome.
Miami. We're going to turn all the way up. Like this interview, is not anything like I'll be in about 2 hours from now with my wife. So just so we know, I've stayed focused. Jessica, I have stayed focused so we can interview today.
Yeah,
But after this interview, it's going to be a turning of Mr. Todd Dulaney, and
you
I'm
know
going to be
what?
lit forever. Yes. But seriously, that's how I
That's
manage
what's
it,
up.
because I have to make sure that I'm open to enjoying myself with my family, not to the point
Yeah.
where I'm like, I'm so heavenly minded that I'm no earthly good that they can't even enjoy their dad or their husband. And so it's thank you. I see somebody say happy anniversary, thank you. But yeah, so I have fun with them, and then I have fun on stage, and I balance the whole thing out.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Balance is key and prioritizing and,
Yes.
also I know I've noticed, you've done a lot of collaborations and you seem to have a really good, solid network of other artists who, balance a lot and you guys
Mhm.
do a lot of work together. Talk a little bit about, having a positive circle, within what you're doing to help you stay focused.
So this is what you just. This is good. This is really good. I'm gonna really touch on this real good. This is my belief. I
Okay.
don't have to be your friend just because we do the same thing as a career.
Right.
I that's one of my rules. I do not have to be friends with you just because we do the same thing as a career. Like not every gospel artist do I call friend. That's just,
Hmm.
I mean, I know it's like, well, we all in the kingdom. The people are like, we all in the kingdom. We should all be friends. No, we
Right.
are. We are all brothers and sisters in Christ. But we are
Right.
not all. You are not my friend. And so, I'm very, very particular about who I call friend and who I allow into the circle of trust in my life to pour into me on that level. Because I mean, let's just be real. Just because you do the same thing to somebody, that does not mean that they want to see you win. And I don't care if it's in the church,
Mm.
outside the church, around the church, on the backside of the church. It don't matter. And so I treat it the same way. If I'm gonna call you friend, that's gonna be because I trust you. I trust that we're
Right.
headed in the same direction. And yes, I do collaborations with people, but I do them because we're like-minded, like-spirited,
Hmm.
headed in the same direction. And just because you sing gospel music, don't mean that you and me are gonna be friends.
Right. But do you feel that, having strong relationships contributes to, life success and focus?
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. But those relationships have to be of people that are like-minded and
Right.
like spirit. Yeah, and absolutely I do, because relationships are the way that partnerships even are the way that
Hmm.
you expand in business and in the kingdom. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
partnerships are everything. But sometimes I think we make improper partnerships because we
Right.
just want to partner with people that are doing the same thing that we're doing. But no, that's not, that's not always the case. I want to partner
Right.
with somebody who's headed in the same direction destiny wise as me. That's what I'm
Right.
like. If I see that we're going in the same direction with destiny, then I partner with you. But if you just, well, you sing gospel, I sing gospel. No, I can root you on from afar. That don't mean we
Yeah.
partners. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right. That's good. And it sounds like that's also what it means to protect your space,
oh
protecting
yes,
your peace, protecting your anointing, protecting your peace.
yes,
That's powerful. Yeah. A lot
yes,
of us do jump into relationships or friendships with people, and we're not very mindful in making sure that person is like minded.
absolutely,
So
absolutely, Jay.
we don't want to keep you because we definitely want you to enjoy your anniversary.
It's gonna be lit. It's no.
But real quick, congratulations on the
Thank
new
you.
single Revelation 4. What do you want listeners to take away from this song?
So we pulled out of the scripture what's happening around the throne of God.
Hmm.
Revelation is a book that we kind of we look. People told me, man, that's too scary. Don't be reading that. Stay away from that. So, but I've dug into it, and I want people to know that around the throne of God,
Yeah.
they're constantly giving it to Him. Holy,
Mhm.
holy, holy. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. So, regardless of what's going on down here on earth, we get so caught up in all the chaos here. But around the throne, they don't stop. Like it's
Mhm.
going down up there. Even right now while
Wow.
we're talking, they are
Mhm.
screaming out holy. The elders are casting down their crowns. They're at the feet of the king, in love with him. And so I just really want people to really just stop and get away
Mhm.
from the chaos for a moment and just say, wow, you know what? Even though it's a lot going on earth, it's still a place where God is still on his throne and
Yeah.
he's still receiving glory.
Wow. That's powerful. I love it. Just stop for a moment. Well, thank you so, so much, Todd, for just taking the
Absolutely,
time
Jay.
out to join us. We definitely want to have you back sometime. But in the
Absolutely.
meantime, everybody, please go and download the new single. It is available on all digital music outlets, and the song is entitled Revelation 4. Stay plugged in right
Absolutely.
here at Jesus Wire. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it.
No problem.